Yo guys, we got Going With The Flow episode 13. I got a cucumber in my mouth. We're just gonna start this video off. I don't know what I'm gonna record, but I'm gonna record something. Okay, let's get it. I think we ought to start this video off with a little banger. So in this container right here, I actually have one of my new pets that I just copped. And this thing right here is actually known as a camel spider. Unlike the name suggests, this thing is neither a camel nor a spider. However, they are an arachnid. Whoa! Now, this camel spider right here, along with all camel spiders, actually belong to a family of arachnids known as solpugids. Look at that. Oh, and he is not happy that I'm messing with him. Look at that. Now, how the hell did this thing get the name camel spider if it's neither a camel or a spider? Well, I believe they actually got their name from a myth that started in the Middle East. So, out in the Middle East, people started spreading around a rumor. The rumor was that solpugids, aka camel spiders, would attach themselves to a camel, find the underbelly of said camel, and then begin to burrow its head into the camel's stomach by moving their chelicerae or mouth parts back and forward until they saw open a hole big enough for them to fit in. And then, once the solpugid makes its way into the camel's stomach, it will begin to eat the camel's intestines from the inside out. At least that's how the rumor goes, and is why camel spiders have the name that they have. Now, if it isn't obvious already, this is not true. Camel spiders do not eat on no camels. I don't know how this rumor started. I don't know why they believe this, but yeah, somewhere in the Middle East, this is common knowledge, even though it's not the right thing to believe. Now, another camel spider myth has to do with people thinking that they're venomous. While they're not venomous, I will admit that most species of camel spiders look like they do possess some sort of venom. And that's just because of how creepy they look. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, without further ado, let me just go ahead and hold this thing just to show you guys that, you know, it's not really anything to worry about. Should I get bit? Just to see, like, what the bite's looking like? I don't want to. Here, let's see. Oh my god. Please don't bite me. Papi, chill. Papi, muñeño. Stop. Please? Should I just get bit, guys? I don't want to do it. Why am I so scared? I touched it. I'm sweating. Okay, yeah, I don't want to hold it. I mean, they're not. I'm just a little scared, okay, guys? I'm just barely now.
Shut the hell up.
You know what? It doesn't seem like it's actually interested in biting. I think it's all just talk that this thing is on. So let's see if I can actually pick it up. Come on. You think I'm scared of you, fool? I ain't scared. See? Boom! And just like that, I'm holding the camel spider. So something pretty noticeable about this camel spider is the fact that it has all these little hairs all on top of its legs. You know, it's just surrounded in these hairs, and it actually uses those hairs to pick up vibrations when it's actually hunting or doing whatever. It'll just use those hairs to pick up vibrations like we use our hairs in our ears to pick up vibrations. So yeah, it's like they have one big ear all across their body. That's freaking weird. Now look at that face. Tell me you guys would not kiss that face. Would you guys kiss the face? I would kiss the face, honestly. Crawling all over my body. Now, this is not the only camel spider that I got. I also copped this little guy right here. So this fuzzy little alien is commonly referred to as a feathered camel spider, and unfortunately, it will not be getting as big as the camel spider I just showed you, only reaching a maximum length of 1 to 2 inches. I don't have much else to say regarding solpugids, so let's move on to the next portion of this video. Alrighty guys, so this is actually a Solomon Island centipede, and is another invertebrate that is both new to my channel and my collection. Now before I go into more depth about this fascinating creature, let me first attempt to feed it for y'all. So this right here is a Madagascar hissing cockroach, and it's actually what's going to be on the menu for the centipede. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce the Madagascar hissing cockroach to the centipede. Hopefully it takes it down. That's the complete wrong direction. This thing is super fast, so yeah, I don't want anything to happen. I don't want it to run out of the enclosure because it could definitely make that little escape. This thing doesn't go towards the centipede.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Come on, bro. Come on. I think I need tongs. I low-key think I need tongs. So right here, I got myself some tongs. Now we're just gonna pick this thing up. Okay, this thing's low-key fast. Yo, what the hell is that green stuff coming out of you, bro? This thing just threw up. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. The centipede's definitely alert. The centipede is most definitely alert. I think that was defensive, though. Before this thing tries to go away, I'm gonna try to feed it one more time. Come on, please, please, please. Please. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. He was hungry. He was hungry for sure. Look how the centipede just wraps all its body parts around the goddamn roach. It uses all those legs like a train of death. It uses all those legs
like a train of death.
Okay, while my centipede is busy devouring its meal, let me tell you a little bit about the Scolopendra metoide, aka the Solomon Island centipede. For starters, this centipede comes from the Solomon Islands. Wow, who would have guessed? Something else that's awesome about these myriapods is the fact that they've only recently been discovered in the Solomon Islands, making them a species that is still very rare to science and to the hobby. Consequently, there is not much known about the Solomon Island centipede, which made the researching process for the centipede very difficult. So according to the few sources I was able to find regarding these centipedes, they usually max out at about 10 inches in length, plus they should be kept the same way as any tropical species of centipede. Now, something interesting that I've noticed from the 2 weeks of keeping this little guy is his brutal eating habits. For instance, every single time I fed this centipede, it will first and foremost capture its prey item by coiling its sharp and powerful legs around whatever it's eating, just like you've seen moments earlier. Then once the centipede has overpowered its prey, it will bite down and inject venom through its forceps. Now, the forceps is the centipede's first pair of legs that have been modified to inject venom. If you still don't know what I'm talking about, it's those two sharp black fang-looking appendages found underneath the centipede's head. Now, after the envenomation takes place, the centipede will do one of two things. He'll either pick up and take his prey item to a spot he deems safe within the enclosure, or he'll just go ahead and start consuming his prey item at the same spot within the enclosure he caught the roach. That's if he doesn't feel too exposed in that part of the enclosure. Okay, so a creepy/genius eating habit I've noticed with this particular centipede is how he always starts from the head and then works his way down. As you can clearly see in the video, the roach is still active and alive. The centipede senses this and goes straight for the head. Then, the centipede will slowly begin chewing away at the prey's head, killing it almost instantaneously. This specialized way of feeding mixed with the centipede's strong and lethal venom ensures that the prey item won't be able to harm the centipede while it devours its meal, making it an apex predator of the invertebrate world. Okay, I could go on and on talking about this fascinating creature, but I don't want the whole video to be about centipedes, so let's move on to the next part of this Going With The Flow. Alrighty guys, for the last part of this Going With The Flow, I'm going to be feeding 3 animals. First up, we have my Asian golden mantis, and I'm going to be giving her this juicy red runner cockroach. Let's freaking go, dude! As you guys can clearly see, the mantis did indeed go for the cockroach. So as she scarfs down her meal, let me crank up the volume so we can enjoy some of that praying mantis ASMR. Next up, we have my soon-to-be mother Black Widow. As you can see in the left-hand corner, she just laid her 3rd egg sac yesterday, so I imagine she's hungry. Just as I suspected, she was indeed hungry and went straight for the red runner cockroach. But as she was flinging her sticky web towards the roach, she confused my tongs for the roach. This caused her to miss a majority of the roach, only managing to snag the back of its leg. After emptying almost her whole tank of sticky web, she began to make her way back to the webbed area, and to her surprise, there was no roach there. Overwhelmed with both confusion and disappointment, she stared off into the mess she made. Now, the heavy look on her face made me feel oh so sad, especially since it was somewhat my fault she didn't catch her roach. So I decided to help her out by startling the red runner, and just as I planned, the roach tried to run away from my tongs. Now, since the roach was stuck to the spider's web, that little bit of movement traveled up the web to the Black Widow, much like electricity travels up a wire. And with the Black Widow already being on high alert, she swiftly made her way towards the roach, stopped right before hitting the roach in order to throw out some feeler webs, when boom, she began to fling out everything she had. The Black Widow did not want to take any chances losing her prey item, as she's already used up so much of her sticky web. Now that the roach is pretty much glued to the web, the spider attempts to go in for a bite, but she quickly changes her mind after noticing how free the roach's other legs are. So being the delicate and careful spider she is, she begins cutting a path in order to touch the top half of the roach. Once the position is right, she saran wraps the red runner cockroach using her powerful silk. Now that the roach is completely wrapped up and there's no chance the roach will be able to break free and harm any one of the spider's delicate legs, the Black Widow then goes in for the bite. The Black Widow has two inward-facing fangs that point at each other. These two fangs act like hypodermic needles that are used to inject venom into the roach. This venom serves two main functions. The first is to paralyze the spider's prey, while the second is to help the spider digest the roach's insides. With the roach tightly wrapped in web and paralyzed from the widow's venom, the spider casts a few more webs onto the roach before pulling the roach a little bit higher, using her strong silk as a form of spider rope. After the roach is in place, the Black Widow takes her time as she waits for the venom to work its magic. Some time passes and the venom did what it was meant to do, and the roach's insides have turned from being a solid into a watery goop. I decided it would probably be best if I didn't mess with this soon-to-be mother as she slurps down her roach smoothie, but finally the next day came, and I went to go check on the roach, and this was all that was left, a cockroach carcass that's had every single calorie slurped out of it. Now that my Black Widow has a full stomach, let's move on to the last part of this going with the flow. Alrighty guys, this is my brown widow. She's somewhat of a chubby subadult and almost never refuses food, so I decided to give her this mealworm. I'm not going to talk about the hunting strategies my brown widow used, just because they're so similar to the hunting strategies my Black Widow used. And this video is already way too long. So instead, we're going to go over today's comment shoutout. Yay! And today's comment shoutout goes to Jaden Wyborn. Wow. Hands up, just amazing. So awesome, yeah. Okay, now if you want a chance to having your comment be the next... Now, if you want a chance at... Holy... Like I was trying to say, if you want a chance at having your comment be in the next video, all you gotta do is comment, and I'll pick one randomly, okay? Okay. But without further ado, let's move on to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because it really helps out the channel, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Lates.